Note here the size of this image. I select the crop tool, I drag a rectangle and click inside the rectangle or hit enter on my keyboard. Now this is the new dimensions of the canvas. The crop tool is a smart tool with very interesting options. Undo. I drag the rectangle but without including any data from the text layer. The text layer has vanished. Undo. I drag a rectangle including data from both layers. I click. Both layers are kept. Undo, and I double click the crop tool to fetch its options. Current layer only. The default option is not checked. If it is checked, the cropping affects only the current layer. I select this, I go to this layer, drag and click. The cropping affected only the specific layer. Undo. Now I activate the text layer and trying to drag, the movement is constrained only for the text layer. After dragging the rectangle, if I change my mind, I simply press escape and the selection is cancelled. After the drag, I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move the selected area. When hovering over the center of the area, I just press the arrow keys and the area is moved in all directions 1 pixel by pixel on 1 pixel steps. If I keep the shift key down, I can make quicker movements. If I hover over one side, any one of the 4, I can use again the arrow keys in the same way. If I hover over the corners, every one of the 4, I can use again the same thing to adjust the selective area. In these tasks, using guides is great for accuracy. When moving with any tool, the crop tool included, I have the option to snap my pointer on guides. This happens if View Snap to Guides is checked. If it is not checked, I have no snapping. The Snap to Guides command helps me very much with accuracy. With my pointer, I can drag the whole rectangle anywhere. In the Tools options, these allow growing comes into play as well. When unchecked, you cannot escape the canvas. No way. When checked, you can escape the canvas when selecting. With Expand from Center, any resizing action keeps the center point. Next in the options, this dialog area called Fixed is interesting. With this drop-down list, I can define what I want to be fixed: the aspect ratio, the width, the height, or the size. These 4 options make absolute sense, and I have all logical options available. The interface here is very well designed, and I suggest that you can play with these part of the options. It is very easy to understand. For example, if I select aspect ratio, I can type inside the word current. Actually, GIMP here by default sometimes selects the image dimensions. You actually can type inside here any values, just numbers, and GIMP will take it into account. You can define if your selection will be portrait, landscape. You can define the unit of measure, the size. All options are inside here. With highlight checked, you may preview in a sense the selection area, or you can set even if you want guides inside. Except from this straight use of the crop tool, GIMP offers two more commands regarding cropping via selections. I just mention them here in order to be consistent, because cropping may be important in a typical workflow in photography. So with any of the selection tools, I can make a selection in the same fashion as I just described. Reminds the functioning of the crop tool. So these two commands are both named crop to selection. The command image crop to selection acts on the whole image, I undo, and the command layer crop to selection acts only on the active layer. Of course, it has to do with which layer you have selected as active inside the layers dialog.